Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, the video that I did about under what conditions would Charles see his son Harry, there was a great response for that. So it made me think, let's ask under what conditions would William entertain Harry? Talking to him, texting him, calling him, speaking over the phone, whatever. Under what conditions would it take for William to entertain any kind of advance reaching out towards William? Under what conditions would William say, okay, if at all, under what conditions, right? I've mentioned many times about, you know, some of the issues we have in our family. And, you know, if you have an alcoholic and you haven't talked to them for years because of their behavior and whatnot, what if they called one day and said, I've been sober for a year? Would you then open that door? I mean, everybody has conditions. There's obviously a reason why you aren't talking to that person. And if they correct their behavior by actions and not just words, would you open the door? Or are you the type of person, once the door is closed, it's locked absolutely shut? You're dead to me, right? So let's ask, under what conditions would William ever entertain any kind of contact from Harry? What would the conditions have to be? Shall we begin? Ooh, spill the beans. 10 of Pentacles. Inheritance. The condition of, you know, family legacy, passing things down. So, or this could also be saying, you know, perhaps the rest of the family have created a welcome to him. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. He has to come back. He has to come back from exit. 10 of Wands in reverse. He has to release all his burdens. We know what those are. Page of Wands in reverse. It would have to be bad news. It'd have to be some kind of bad news. You know, and sometimes that would be the case too. Like, what if you had a sibling who is a terrible alcoholic and did terrible things to you and you haven't talked to them in years, but one of their children passes away or something? Would you then open your heart to having some kind of conversation with them or reaching out and giving your condolences? So it's something to do with some kind of bad news is that their father. 3 of Wands. Patience. Way in the future. This is actually more promising than Charles, to tell you the truth. I think that it would have to be during, like, the father's will, something being passed down. It'd have to be him returning, releasing some burdens, and at some type of bad news. Like, as much as we think that William's going to chop his head off, Harry's head off, I think that at the end of the day, there's his mother inside of him. And I think he would have some sympathy for Harry if Harry was dealing with some really serious bad news, especially if Harry was back in the UK. Knight of Swords in reverse. He'd have to put his words down. This would have to be to the media. It would not be allowed to be out in the media at all. The media would have to be shut out and blacked out of it. 3 of Cups in reverse. It would actually be under some kind of, let's see what the next one is. Ace of Wands. I think William would be open to talking to Harry if something terrible happened to Harry. If he heard really, really bad news, or Harry needed to come back to recover some way. I know this really sounds controversial and contradictive of what we think William would do. I think that we have the Ace of Wands here. So if something new popped up, and it was like kind of like a new situation, perhaps if he was if Harry was attacked, perhaps if Harry was back in the UK, if there was some kind of incident, if the media was not allowed in any way, shape, or form, if Harry had absolutely nobody, William would actually, here, look at, you can even think of the olive branch. William would actually entertain if Harry reached out to him. Because at the end of the day, Harry's family and legacy. And I think this is more or less like when they have to share the will almost. 8 of Wands. So that's, yes, that's communication. That's, look at the hand of God, the finger of God. Even though the tower is the hand of God, this is, what's it pointing at? At something terrible happening. Maybe you know, Harry finds out that Meghan's cheating on him. Well, I think he knows, but I think, you know, it's announced or something like that. Something comes to light about this cheating, I think. And I think if Harry were to reach out to William and said, I have nobody. I'm desperate. I think there would be some kind of spark there. Oh, there he is, King of Swords. 100%. William would be there. Death. There'd have to be some, I think it's going to be the death of their father. I honestly do. I think that, and the cards have told us this many times, that when we see Harry and William offering some kind of peace, we know the end is near for Charles. Charles has said he does not want his boys warring. He does not want to leave the earth with his boys warring. So I think once William is king, actually, so it has to do around the death of King Charles, and once William is king and he has more say, I think we're going to see some kind of transformation of Harry here. Interesting. Oh yeah, there he is, the Hermit in reverse. He can't be the Harry of today. He has to be, it's going to be that Harry has nobody. He's all alone in the world. Perhaps that might be very blatantly obvious at Charles' funeral. I honestly think that's what it's going to take. Those will be the conditions. And perhaps William will be leaning on Harry as well, because at that point they'll be orphans, right? Both parents are gone, and they are the only ones who know their past. Like for for example, my sister has passed away. I've mentioned many times. Well, her and I had, as growing up, we were only 20 months apart, so we grew up quite close. And there's so many little things like nobody else knows in the world. You know, what we called this or what we called that, or when we did this, or remember that time we had a party and mom and dad didn't know, and that kind of thing, right? There's only certain things that, you know, you have with that sibling, and there's going to be some kind of nostalgia here for William with Harry. But Harry has to transform, absolutely transform. But also, like, death is Scorpio as well, and that's why I think once William becomes king, I think here with the Hermit in reverse, and yes, Harry's done things that are indefensible. He has no defense. He has no defense. But I think Harry's going to be in such a state, that William's actually going to feel for him. I think Auntie Anne is going to be a big part of it. I really do. And the star, there's their mother. Gotta be careful, boobies. And Page of Cups upright. I think a lot of us will be surprised. I think William will do it for his mother. I've done something for a dying man. Um, in his honor, he asked me to do something before he passed away, and I've kept that honor. He's been gone now 23 years, and I kept that promise. I'll tell you, if you want to screw somebody up, make a promise before you die. You don't dare break it. Actually, I've always joked to the kids that if I'm ever on my deathbed, and my final words are going to be, I hid the money in the where anyways, sorry, I'm trying to make light of a funny of a situation here. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Auntie Anne is going to be a bridge. She may be some part of a um executor in some regard about something, or perhaps Charles has left her in charge of something, um, something that he wanted both the boys to have or something. I think Auntie Anne is going to be, this is not Megan. Megan is never the Queen of Wands upright. Never, ever, ever. You have to have a soul to be the Queen of Wands upright. I think this is going to be something. William is probably thinking, if I don't do this, I'm not honoring my mother, because this is her son as well. And that's just William rising to the top, right? Being the better man, being the bigger man. Interesting. I was looking for definitely the cards of Megan here, but it looks like Megan's not even in the picture at this point. I remember we did Charles, and Charles said, yeah, Megan has to be out of the picture. And I'm thinking that Charles on his final time here on Earth, I'm getting a feeling that's what Megan will be gone by then, and because she's not even part of this picture, and it's William on the throne. So this is after Charles passes away. I think. So it is in the future. Three of Wands. It's like patience. Um, there's definitely a spark here. There's definitely green shoots, but it won't be until after Charles passes away. And William's not going to do it for his dad's sake. He's going to do it for his mom's sake. And Auntie Anne's going to be the bridge here. And maybe it is to save Harry. Maybe it is. But we'll all be surprised when it happens. We'll all be really surprised when it happens, when we hear the news that Harry and William, are on speaking terms or something like that. Wow, that was kind of interesting. I honestly didn't think that would happen. Like, Catherine didn't show up here at all. No, this is between two brothers and their shared history and their father, and has nothing to do with the wives whatsoever. And I think William is going to be the one who not reaches out. He'll be the one who accepts the olive branch, as they call it. All right. Well, YouTube's going to show you a video you possibly haven't seen. Why don't you click on that, and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Take good care. Bye for now.